good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. I just saw a very pleasant comment that says the notifications worked for Hydran. Congratulations and thank you for joining. What's up, Barry? How you doing? Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the show. There she is, Queen of Canada, looking to make an impact right out of the gate. Thank you very much for being here, Dawn. I appreciate it. Anybody notice how big the comments look? I wonder if that's a new thing. It looks kind of cool, but look at how big the comments look. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. And again, Hydran, that's wonderful. I'm glad it worked. Very, very, very happy. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Welcome aboard. I love the AKA thing. It's hysterical. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of kick back tonight, talk some stuff. Let me fix something. I'm off to the side. There we go. That's better. Got a roaring fire going over here. Got the tree going. Snowing like a mother out there. It hasn't snowed in like 6 years, but by the miracle of Christmas, it's snowing tonight. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. Yeah, we're just going to hang out and relax. I've had a very, 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 very busy couple of days. I'm sure all of us have. Hope things going well on the reselling side, on the eBay side. I just want to kind of chat about that stuff. You know, fourth quarter, we all look forward to it all year round. Here it is. And theoretically, we only have a couple of weeks left of it. And then we start the post fourth quarter thing. And in my experience, and it's not very lengthy, a lot of people have been doing this a whole lot longer, obviously. January can still be pretty busy because you got a lot of people with gift cards and money to spend. I don't even know if eBay has a gift card. They probably do. If they don't, they should. I'm pretty sure I've seen one in like a supermarket or something local to me. But, you know, people will have some money. A handful of people will be paying bills because a lot of people charge their Christmas stuff. Tisk, tisk, don't do that. But the people that get the gift cards, especially younger people, maybe they'll be out there ready to buy. So I will continue to be stocked. I hope all you guys will continue to be stocked as well and keep listing up a storm. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. Hey, Sandy, nice and cozy. Yeah, it does look kind of cozy. I literally typed, not even joking, cozy Christmas scene, something to that effect on YouTube. Downloaded a video, have it looping in the background. So a little something extra. Great to see everybody. Do you guys see how big? Is it me? Are these things like huge now? I think it looks fantastic. It looks much brighter and easier to read. I didn't change anything, so I'm curious if it's just a StreamYard thing. But I think it looks pretty cool. Welcome aboard, everybody. Yeah, so list. I continue to list like a maniac. I hope you guys are all doing the same thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything really new and exciting to talk about as far as listing or items. I've been focusing a lot on Christmas postcards. Just been getting those up crazily. Maybe last week or so, just about every day, I'm getting a bunch of Christmas postcards up until I exhaust them all. I'm getting near the end of that pile, which is good. Again, whether any of them or some of them sell before Christmas, who knows? Everybody knows Christmas stuff sells all year round, but I mean, we're right here now. We're so close. So I'm hoping that, you know, there'll be a push for Christmas items. And if anybody's noticed on the shipping details, when you look up an item, if it says, you know, ships from the US, your pricing and stuff, a lot of them in green, it says, we'll, you know, receive before Christmas, something to that effect. So if you have a time horizon that allows for that, which I think we all do at this point, we're still, you know, almost, 12 days, 11 days, something like that. 10 days. 10 days is still reasonable. So unless you have like, you know, 8-day handling, you should definitely be able to get your items out in time for your buyers for Christmas. And I like that. That's a nice little touch, I think, to try to entice people, like, get it now. That sense of urgency that's so crucial in all marketing stuff. But yeah, I just continue to keep listing the postcards amongst some other things that we've received. We had some, not big money here, but just hoping to capitalize on the time of year. My wife brought home a bunch of sealed Hallmark cards that she got from some people that she works with. They were just giving them away. They're just a sealed like stack of 10 sort of generic looking Christmas cards. Like, they're blank inside, just have a pretty image on the front. But what the heck, you know, we put them up for a song. It was really cheap, but it's free money if any of those sell. And they all had barcodes, so super simple to list. Just list, you know, one listing basically, and I had like 10, quantity of 10 or something like that for those. That's just a little extra something. But my main focus recently has been still continues to be the ephemera. Obviously, the postcards taking front and center, or going front and center, and then just continuing a bevy of print ad listings. What's up, Enzo/Stephans? How you doing? When you get an offer, do you accept it or wait for payment, or do you counter with the price to force immediate pay? Yeah, I accept. And wait for payment, or do you counter with the price to force? Yeah, I've never done that. I just accept it. I've been pretty lucky. Again, the kiss of death when you mention something like this. I've been pretty lucky. I don't usually get, have a situation like that where somebody doesn't pay. It's happened on a handful of occasions, but it's pretty rare. So no, I don't push the envelope with that. I think it's an interesting idea. Maybe it depends on how much money the item's worth, and um, I understand why people might consider doing that, but I haven't done that personally. No, there he is. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Good to have Mark. S on Postcards. Got to check out his channel at all costs. Anybody who claims to be a postcard person needs to check out and subscribe to Mark at S on Postcards. Great to have you, man. Thank you for coming in. Most of the offers you get now say that the buyer will be automatically charged. Oh yeah, you actually get like verbiage to that effect? Maybe I do too. I haven't read that. I haven't seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I haven't seen that. Fire. That's right. Smoke. Nah, don't be concerned about that. It's atmosphere. What's up, Joe? How you doing? Afternoon where Joe is. Great to have you, man. Hey, Joe. So anyway, what's going on in your worlds? I still think the emphasis should be on listing. That's what I'm going to continue. I mean, I do that any time of year, to be honest with you. But I'm going to try to load up again, continue to, keep pounding away, hoping that sales continue for what's left of this fourth quarter thing. And then hopefully in January, there's a trickle down effect and we get a lot of sales that, again, with people, hopefully with gift cards and things like that, money as gifts, whatever. Maybe people are looking for after Christmas sales, after Christmas bargains. I'm probably going to do something like that, a marketing thing where I say, after Christmas sale, just like the stores do, and discount some stuff with the hopes of teasing people into buying our junk. Even though it's not junk, I know it's quality, 100% quality. What else is going on that's worth noting? Regular videos on my channel, I've been slacking big time just because I've been so busy with other things. Primarily with my wife and I with the bakery. We've been spending so much time doing that. I haven't had really time to do a proper video in a very long time, but I want to do that. It's one of my goals for the new year is to get more regular recorded content up in addition to the live shows whenever we can get on. We do have a very busy schedule in January so far with the band, so I'll let you guys know as far as frequency of these live shows. I'll get on it every time I can. It might be off nights. It might be, a Thursday here or there, or a Tuesday here and there. There's I don't want to touch Wednesday because of some shows that come on Wednesday. Thursday used to be a night that I would never go on, but I think it's safe to go on Thursday now. But I still like to try to stick to the Monday and Friday thing. I enjoy them. It's the beginning of the week, the end of the week. You can see what's changed. Monday is Monday. But Monday I usually enjoy a lot because, hopefully you had a decent weekend of sales. And then Monday is like that day to, get all the stuff out that's sold on the weekend and kind of talk about weekend sales. And then by Friday, you have a good sense of how your week was and how the trends are going and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoy the Monday, Friday thing personally. Slacker. Yeah, big time. I've been slacking on that. I admit it. Go get Sherlock as penance. Yeah, Sherlock's laying low. Sherlock is snuggled up. I mean, you see the coziness that exists. A home doesn't look too far removed from this, other than it's not snowing, of course. But Sherlock is like cuddled up in a ball. A little puppy, Sherlock. Our 8-year-old puppy. He's eternally a puppy, though. He's just kind of snuggled up. He sits on a window. We have like a bay window, like a little deck thing that he sits on, and we just put like pillows and comfy blankets and stuff like that. That's his existence, is hanging out in that area. So being up by the window, as good as the windows might be, it's inevitable if it's really chilly out that some of that chill will come through the window. So he's like snuggled up by the window. He's protecting the house, though. That's why he's up on the window. He's, intruders. And there's many intruders with the Amazon deliveries and all that stuff that go along with Christmas time. What is going on, man? Vintage Kaja, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. It's been a little bit, I think. Fireplace. I'm sorry, I just clicked way too quick. Fireplace looks like Canada this year. Don't feel so. Yeah, right. Well, that's what, if it was all smoky, let's hope that come spring and summer next year, no more of this smoking situation, smoke out situation. That was awful. That was very, very awful. What's up, Charles? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to have you. Good to see you. Hydrin says you just made a batch of cat food. Ooh, interesting. Go snuggle up with the kitties. There you go. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Moving on, $3.95, Mark. Good evening. Hey, CJ, welcome aboard, man. As always, thank you very much for being here. So, yeah, it's a laid back, cozy, soon to be winter night here. Finishing up actually some food, so I'm sure you guys won't be put off by that. Tonight's delicacy is a plate of lima beans. Really good. I love lima beans. You got Dawn started with some animal food topics. Something I don't think we've actually, believe it or not, one of the few things we haven't dabbled in. Yeah, Mr. Lori. Where is Lori? I haven't seen Lori in a long time. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome aboard. Great to have you, as always. I know she's probably busy on the phone. Oh, lima beans are my favorite. You know what's funny, Donna? You always talk about Sherlock. Sherlock loses his mind, seriously, over lima beans. Goes nuts when I'm cooking them. He's jumping on my leg and stuff. It's a pain in the neck because you can't. I have to try to escape downstairs. I give him like 2 or 3 of them in a dish, and I cut them up. I go, here you go, baby, and then I run downstairs to try to eat in peace, which is not an easy thing to do with a Sherlock, but I do. I sincerely love lima beans. Absolutely. I just want to make sure I forgot to put my eBay screen up just in case on the off chance that something sells. It's been a quiet day here for me after a pretty nice, couple of weeks, very steady sales coming in. Today's been very quiet. So we'll see what happens. We are very close. 10 days out of Christmas now. I'm intrigued by what Dawn said about that message that says that they have to pay or something to that effect. Is that what you said? It comes up, it pops up, Dawn? Yeah, Joe, I've seen people do that. I just eat regular. I boil them or steam them. A little bit of butter and salt and pepper. Delicious, delicious. She'll be along. She's with the baby. Daughter going to company Christmas party, so we get the baby. Oh, there you go. That's a win-win, huh? Congratulations again on the baby, little grandbaby. Anybody change direction in any way, shape, or form in recent months? Like as far as the type of things you source, the type of things you list? Because I've mentioned this a little bit before, but I continue to have like this stuff that we picked up a couple of months back from a friend of the family. They had that private pick that I put a video out on. Well, anyway, we have a bunch of, it's mostly Minnesota Viking stuff. The guy who passed away, diehard Minnesota Viking fan living in Pennsylvania. Strange, but whatever. And he had a lot of stuff. I sold a helmet, which was really nice, an NFL helmet. I think it was last week. I still have a couple of items left from that, but like it just led me to think about, does anybody ever do that? Or I know Mark is a postcard guy. True and true. But is anybody else like that maybe traditionally wouldn't list things like that? Has anybody thought outside the box and sourced some things that maybe they're not typically known for listing and had any success or unsuccess? Like it can take, to me, like, to be honest with you, the postcard thing, because I followed Popeye, Mark, I watched the Whatnots, of course. I got, hooked completely and still am. Well, postcards is something I never even considered prior, which is interesting. And it's, still a relatively new thing for me. But, if I saw a huge uptick in sales and if things were flying off the shelf and in huge fashion with clothing, dare I say, like the stuff that I've been listing recently, I would consider switching, not switching, but just adding some things to the arsenal that maybe I haven't thought of in a while. I got away from clothing, like I know a lot of people probably did. At least they started, and then maybe either really kicked butt at it or moved on to something else. And with me, it was the ephemera thing for all the reasons we've mentioned a million times about how much easier it is to store that stuff and less photos, all that good stuff. But the up and down, the yin and yang of life comes through with that stuff because ephemera, most of it sits there for a long time. A lot of clothing, especially if it's good clothing, can sell pretty quickly. Clothing has a lot more returns. Ephemera has virtually none, at least in my world, almost none. So like I said, pros and cons all around, but it hasn't like this new sudden inventory of the clothing stuff. What else did I get recently? My wife keeps bringing home stuff she works in a convent, believe it or not, for retired nuns. So it's like an old folks home, strictly for nuns. And they're the sweetest people in the world, but they keep bringing her things. They have a table. I might have mentioned this before. They have a table, and it's almost like it's up for grabs. Anything that anyone puts on that table, if somebody, it could be like a pair of gloves, it could be a deck of cards. It's the most wide variety of items. It's just things that people bring in, mostly the nuns that bring in, put on the table and say, if anybody needs one, take it. And my wife has brought home several items that I've wound up selling for completely free. Records, tape, a lot of cassettes, cassette tapes, which is something I didn't have too many of. She keeps bringing home cassettes. So I put them up for sale. You can never, I'm never going to poo-poo free inventory, no matter what it is. I can't think of anything within reason, that I would say, nah, I don't want that. Rosary beads, we've sold some rosary beads, things that I wouldn't normally come across, A, and B, even consider selling, suddenly in my world. And I welcome it. Like, I don't want to limit my focus and say, I just do ephemera and that's all. I want to be open to other things. And you never know. Sometimes a little spark, no pun intended, but all the sparks, a spark can go off in your mind and you say, oh, wow, this is doing really well. And it's just something I'm open to. I wonder if you guys are open as well, or if you're just very, have the blinders on and this is what I sell and that's how it shall always be. I like to be open about things like that. Get an offer from someone now. It says that I can accept. They will automatically charge about. I'm gonna have to check that out if I get that the next time. Your World's Fair and Expo postcard video scheduled for Christmas Day. Get out. There you go. If you're looking at what's sold, you're gonna see a lot of mine. I think at least New York World's Fair. That's cool, man. So everybody check that out. Merry Christmas from Mark. A tremendous video all about World's Fair. Big fan of the World's Fair postcards. I have a ton of them. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, I just threw that up. I downloaded a video. It wasn't anything sophisticated, but I have it on a loop, so it looks like it's constantly going. I thought it was cozy and nice. But yeah, Mark, look forward to that video because I've had a lot of them come into my world, and they sell great. There's definitely a lot of collectors out there for the World's Fair stuff. Oh, here we go. The recipe: boneless chicken thighs for 8 minutes at 450 to kill the surface bacteria. The meat will be pink. Oh, wow. Very cool. That's really a really nice idea. Homemade, fresh. You know where it comes from. You know that it's not like byproducts or anything nasty that unfortunately a lot of companies put in the pet foods. Hey, Maria, how you doing? Go slow. Your last batch of cookies are in the oven. See, everyone, I love it. People are in a kind of cozy mood, right? That's good stuff. Welcome to the show. You just got home from your company Christmas dinner party. There you go. Yeah, that's why, you know what? It's just a hangout, kick your feet up, lay back, relax kind of night. It just is. It just is. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. I just wanted to chat for a little bit and say hi and kind of take the night easy. Eat my lima beans, you know what I mean? Drink my water. What else could you ask for? Go up and pet the dog. Life is good, right? Barry, I still don't understand what postcard is good. You seem to buy the wrong ones. Well, it's, what's right or wrong is in the eye of the beholder. People collect everything. People collect certain topics, if you will, certain sites, certain areas for postcards, certain types of postcards. Mark, seriously, SM Postcards, if you're not familiar with him, Barry, definitely subscribe to him. Popeye is a guru as well of postcards. Popeye's Postcards. They have great videos kind of all about that. They touch upon, what sort of postcards people are interested in. It's such a widely collected product. Like you're going to find, I think stamps is the only one that supersedes it as far as collectibles worldwide. I think stamps is the number one collectible, or at least they used to be. Postcards is right at that, 2 or 3. So you're going to have millions and millions of people that are interested. And I'd be willing to bet that no matter what you put up there, somebody will buy it. Mark has done tests and said he's done listings that just say postcard number 1. And believe it or not, somebody's bought it. But definitely, Barry, if you want, check out those 2 channels for sure. There's a bunch of other people, great people that know a lot about postcards. You could certainly throw questions in the chat if you have any specific questions, like what have you been sourcing? What have you been putting up? How have you been pricing them? You're a sucker for a sucker for old metal lunchboxes. Very cool. Yeah, which I'm sure a lot of us had, right, as kids with the thermos. They are collectible, right? Big time, Mark. Batman ones, like older Star Trek, I think, sold really well. There was a Star Trek one I remember seeing not too long ago that sold. A TV show, Star Trek. I had a Scooby-Doo one. I think I had a Star Trek one. Those are the ones that stick out. I had a Welcome Back Kotter, which was a big show when I was a kid. I remember those. But they are very cool. Wow, Hygiene, you should, have you ever considered making your recipe, a commodity that you could be, selling out there in the wild for people? There you go, Dawn, yeah. I'm sure they are, right? Glossy fur and all. That's beautiful. There she is. How you doing, Lori? No, let me type too much. Said the baby is obsessed with my life. That's great. Well, welcome to the show. Great to see you. We're just hanging out, kicking back, telling stories of collectible items and homemade pet food, which I think is a beautiful idea, actually. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Is there a reason? I'm just asking, Mark. Is there a reason you don't like Whatnot? Have you not considered doing Whatnot? I bet you do great on that too. But if you're doing well with the Ko-fi store, that's fantastic. You could clarify it's the app that tells me. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, I'll get offers on the phone, obviously, especially like in the evening if I'm in bed or whatever. That's the time I use the phone. But I'm usually sitting here on the computer. Yeah, I haven't noticed it. Karen sells books, religious items, CDs, tapes, and DVD. Religious items. Something I brought up because of my wife. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you're pretty varied in your content. That's great. Yeah. Books I like. Like anything else, right? There's good and bad, and there's stuff that sells quickly, and there's stuff that might take a while. I like the idea of books. They're heavy. They're heavy. I have two or three of those. The Banco boxes, those white foldable cardboard Banco boxes. I've like maybe two or three boxes filled with novels, books, college textbooks. That was a coup. My third child, my second boy, is a school teacher now, and he went to Kutztown University, graduated a few years ago, and he was on these committees and stuff like that. And he would bring home, they were a year old or something, like a year or a semester or two out of date, but he would bring me like tons of used college books, gingerly, like they weren't written in or anything like that. And I did make some money on those, but you know how that goes. If you have kids in college, or if you remember your college days, they make these editions like the kids have to buy the newest edition or something. It's a joke. What information has changed about algebra or whatever, whatever topic in the last 100 years that they need. There's a necessity to do version 11, version 12, version 15, whatever. But I did sell some of those. My mother-in-law is a huge Stephen King fan, and she's meticulous in all things. So she'll like get a bunch of Stephen King books, read them once, and then give them to me to sell. And I've sold a bunch of Stephen King books. They sell pretty well, not for great money or anything like that. I know there's a certain handful that are worth a lot, but you know, nickel here, nickel there, they all add up. So I've dabbled in a lot of different things myself. I think it's cool that I think it's a good idea generally, if you choose to do so, to be a little, keep the antennas up and look for opportunities and things that maybe you haven't typically been known to list. How would I rate the year 2023 for reselling, 1 to 10? Great question, Charles. Maybe we'll do a year in review show in a couple of weeks, but I'll tell you, I had some really down months, unfortunately. Many of them, like too many to count. That's wood. I promise you, that's wood. Oh, let's knock on the Yule log. Boom, 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 boom. I've had a couple of nice months recently, so I'm hoping that trend continues, obviously. But let's give it a 6. Give it a 6. There's always room to get better, right? I want to. I'll tell you one thing I've definitely been doing, spending a lot more time doing, is I just pulverize listings. I've been trying to get 100 a day. Sometimes I get 50 a day. I don't think it really matters. The 100 is a lofty goal for me. Sometimes I do it with ease. It depends on what I'm listing. The postcards, I can get 100 up really easy in a couple of hours, honestly, with the tool I use and all. The Christmas postcards, they're all pretty similar. They're pretty simple. But as long as I'm listing a decent quantity every day, I think I'm doing a good job. And then the numbers bear that out. The sales come in consistently. If I dare I say, I haven't done it in a long time, but if I didn't list for a day or two, I definitely see a drop. I see a drop in traffic. eBay likes when we keep listing. They like consistency. So I want to, one of my goals, we'll probably talk about this in a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll have plans for the new year, goals and things when it comes to reselling. But one of my big ones for next year is going to be kind of do what eBay wants us to do, meaning I don't mean promote to the moon or anything like that. I just mean do the things that they ask you to do. As silly and basic as that sounds, I think it's really important. Like there's a tendency to want to do things your way, and eBay is ever changing, as we all know. Anybody who's been on this platform for a few years, we've seen monumental changes in recent years. But go back, pick a year. Everything is different than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. I just want to do the things that they want us to do. I want to maintain the top seller thing. I think it means something. I want to be consistent with my listing. Um, all the basic customer service stuff that we're all find ourselves embroiled in, whether we want to or not. It is a business. It's a service industry that we're involved with on eBay. Make sure I'm always servicing these customers, whether they deserve it or not. No, but being nice, continuing to ship the best I could possibly do. I think I touched on this last time, but it's very important to me. I think the shipping piece of the equation is something that can be overlooked by a lot of people. You put so much work into sourcing your items, listing your items. Everybody knows listing can be a pain in the neck. Do all that work, you get the sale. I'm a big proponent of that. I want to list, I want to package my items and ship my items. First of all, of course, as quickly as possible. I have 1 day handling on everything I sell. I have intraday handling on all the print ads and the easy stuff, the postcards and the print ads that I could easily gather. As long as it's bought before 11 a.m. my time, it goes out same day. Things like that. I just want to do those things that eBay gives us or tells us or suggests that we do in earnest. Keep up with that stuff. And I think good things will follow if you do that. And you have to have the ability. It's a cliche. You have to pivot. It's true. You have to pivot when you see them making changes, whether we like them or not. It's their company. They can do what they want. They want to make money. They're making a fortune hand over fist with this promoted stuff. It's a huge source of revenue for them. It's not going away, whether you like it or not. So like play the game with them a little bit, just adapt your business. If you have to price things differently, so be it. I have been a recent thing I've been doing, and this is very recent, just this week. The newer things I've been listing, especially the postcards, if I get to like 50 a day, that's what I've been doing almost every day. I'm not promoting initially out of the gate. I'm going to let it go like a week. And I have a little spreadsheet that says what day I listed them. After a week or so, or 10 days, I'll probably start promoting them. But it's amazing. You can get that push from those original, the new listing thing. That fresh listing definitely gives you a little boost. And I don't know, that depends on the item. I don't know that you really need the promoted piece for that if you choose not to. So I'm playing around with that. I've had a couple of sales from stuff I've listed like the previous day with no promoted. It's a great feeling nowadays. Whenever you could sell anything without that promoted fee coming out, I feel like that's a victory, for me and my business. But I'm certainly not abandoning it. Like I said, I think it's going to be an obvious, a necessary evil, in our businesses. You kind of have to, unless you sell extremely rare, one of a kind things. And even then, you got to hope that the right person comes on, all that stuff. So that's a goal for me in 2024, is just continue and maybe improve upon things like that. Service metrics, make sure that everything is up to snuff. Don't let my foot off the gas when it comes to that stuff. Don't get lazy. If volume increases, you got to keep that on the sales end. Hopefully we'll have an increase in volume on sales, right? Keep up the high level, the high standards on the shipping. Interact with my customers more, maybe do a little more marketing. As far as like pushing out coupons and all that kind of stuff. Coupons, I'll tell you, the sale thing never really does great for me. Coupons usually do pretty well, but again, it's almost like when you do an end and sell similar for me. Coupons are good quickly. They give you a little boost. I get a little of activity and it kind of fizzles away. So I'm going to keep playing around with all these tools that they give us, and hopefully good things will come. Just a storm, a preparation notification for Monday from our Connecticut utility company. Oh, wow. For Monday. Rain, snow, sleet. What's going on? Hang out, drop your drawers, and sip. There you go. Not necessarily in that order either, Mark. Yeah, what kind of weather we got coming in? Do I prefer postcards to ads? No, I like them both equally. They have different appealing factors for me. Postcards are much newer for me, and I still have that kind of honeymoon period with them. I really do enjoy them. I love the ease of listing. I love the ease of storage. I love the ease of shipping them. I like the products themselves. I'm intrigued by the history. I haven't found a period. I will say one difference. Everybody knows with the ads, I love the World War II stuff. I haven't found a period necessarily with postcards that I prefer. Like I can't say, oh, I like, chrome postcards. Who likes chrome postcards? No, I'm just saying I just like linens or anything. I don't really have like a period of time necessarily with postcards that I do have for ads, but I like them both equally for different reasons, yet similarities as well. They both have historical elements. The print ad thing, because I've just been doing it longer. I like they're varied. You have so many different products obviously being advertised, and the different eras are so unique to themselves, so that they're very tied to a specific era in most cases. I love that about print ads. I prefer to ship postcards to print ads, that's for sure. The shipping supply piece of getting your ads out the way I do it, and you can see all the links below to the stuff I use. It's expensive when you really net out how much I'm paying for the supplies. I have that clear plastic thing. I have the rigid mailers. Um, it eats into profit a little bit, but the thing with the print ads and the postcards, but definitely the print ads, is I swear to you folks, I'm not making this up. I definitely have like less than a nickel per piece of paper, probably a penny per piece of paper. So it's a coup. I mean, if I could sell an ad for $15 and have a nickel into it, can I really complain that it costs $1.50 for the shipping supplies that we use? No, I can't. I can't complain about that. So I love both of them. Hopefully it's not the easy way I'd answer. I really do love them both. They both have a place in my heart. Postcards came in with a vengeance. I was shocked how much I was hit over the head with the postcard bug, and everybody warned me that I would be, and I fell hard for it. I really did. And I went in, I got that huge 40,000 thing in the spring, 40,000 cards, of which this Christmas thing is part of that. All the World's Fair stuff was part of that. So it's been paying dividends since springtime. I think we got them at the end of March. So was that 8-9 months? I don't need postcards yet. I don't really need ads either because I have tons of magazines. When the time comes and I'm back out as a buyer for the magazines and all that stuff, maybe I'll do some videos about that to show you guys like where I get these magazines and things. We'll do some of that, but I really don't need to buy that stuff. I'm in a very, very lucky and fairly unique situation for most things because the postcard thing, the 40,000 should last me a long time. The print ad thing, the magazines are going down. They're starting to dwindle, which is great. There's still a couple of hundred, but I mean, I'm definitely down because of this listing frenzy I've been on with the ads. The numbers are dwindling with the magazines, but still a lot. Still like a couple of years worth easily. But I get a lot of free stuff, like I said, between my of course. Then I forgot to mention this. My wife's grandmother, passing away a couple of months ago. We got tons of stuff from her, clothing. So we get lots of free merchandise. That's the bottom line. We get lots and lots of free merchandise. I don't have money tied up in merchandise. I don't have that bug that so many others have, and I'm not putting you down for having it. I can understand it because I have bugs with other things like music and instruments and things like that, which are far more expensive, by the way. But I don't have that. Like a lot of people have that buying bug. They love to buy. They call themselves resellers, and really they're just people that love to buy stuff. I don't have that. I could care less. Like I don't get off on going to a thrift store, and I don't get off on going to an antique mall. And I love to buy. I have to buy. I have to buy. I don't have that. Teach their own. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. But I have so much stuff that was either free or paid for years ago that costs so little per item that I'm set. I really don't have to. I can't think of the last time I sourced. I really can't. That I went out and I went to the private pick, but that was free. So we had a private pick. We had my wife's grandmother passed away and gave us tons of stuff. We had the private pick thing brought in clothes and all the football equipment. I have the nickel a piece ads that I have thousands of still. I put a lot of money out for the 40,000 cards, but those are paying dividends as we speak, and that's going to last me for a while. I'm lucky. I don't have to really go out and source anything unless I want to. I have hundreds and hundreds. I have thousands of records still, by the way. So that's another thing that I picked up in estate sales, and I'm bad at record keeping when it comes to that stuff because it was always thrown in. Like if I went to get other things, I would just grab a pile of records. And you know how it goes at an estate sale. Like you don't really pay the price that's on if it says every record's $1, every record's 50 cents. If you buy other things and you just put a whole pile of stuff, I'll give you 100 for everything. Okay. So it's hard to quantify what those cost, but I have thousands of records. I have a couple 178s. I have maybe 100 cassettes. I have maybe 1,000 CDs. So I have a lot of music media stuff. I have lots of stuff. I have stuff from Disney that when I worked there years ago in the reservation center down in Orlando, my wife worked in the Disney store for a couple of years. So we have stuff from her. We're really, really blessed and lucky to have tons of merchandise to sell. I don't have to go out and buy anything for a long, long time. Jiminy After Dark. You've actually sold some postcards this week. Yay! There you go. Yeah. Hip, hip, hooray. It's a postcard loving crowd, that's for sure. Gotta love the postcards. There he is. What's up, Cameron? Look at that picture. That's cool. The funny thing about the sudden huge banner on StreamYard is that you can really see the faces clearly. What's up, man? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Just got buys from the latest Mary Martin online auction. Ooh, did you really? You did well, I hope. Cameron, you have the updated 24 sell-through rate document for postcards coming out first day. There we go. So again, if anybody hasn't subscribed, you got to go over to Mark's channel, SM Postcards. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm sure it does, man. Mine's long gone. But I had one. Nobody thought I know anybody that played with toys and those in the 60s and 70s and stuff. Did you ever know that this stuff was going to be worth money? Of course not. So shame on us. I think the generations that have followed, and certainly now, they're probably keeping everything with the hopes that in 20 years it'll be worth a fortune. Whatnot was like I was on schedule, and after the newness wore off, you moved on. So it was like you mean like you didn't like that you had to be on a schedule? Is that what you mean? Charles sells car manuals as well as license plates as well as brochures of any kind. Very cool. Nice. Dawn Wright sells car manuals and you find them too. And you picked up about a dozen cookbooks yesterday. Awesome. Cookbooks are really cool. Oh, and then I get, just one more thing, not to rub it in, more free junk. I got that 70-pound box or whatever from an anonymous donor of ephemera. So like I'm knee deep in this stuff. I'm waist deep in this stuff. I don't have to buy anything. I really don't have to buy anything unless like I said, if I want to, if I see some steal on items, I don't want to, believe it or not, this is going to buck many trends. I'm not looking for a big haul anymore right now. Anyway, I can't think of anything I would want to get in mass at the moment. I have enough of the things I want to have in mass. So like if I'm the opposite. I want to look for one-off cool things. Like if we go to this place called Booth's Corner. In fact, I'm going to go tomorrow with my wife. It's a marketplace. It's like an antique mall / food market. I think I've talked about it before. 15 minutes from my house, 10 minutes from my house. We go once in a while. Delicious food. It's beautiful. And at Christmas time, it smells so good. Of course, I don't eat any of it because I'm still doing the carb free, except with lima beans. But it smells great in there. And they have a lot of cool things. So like if I was given a bunch of ball caps, hats as part of the private pick. And we sold not a bunch. I sold maybe 5 or 6 hats out of 20 that I got in October. Not terrible. So the sell-through is pretty good on those hats. And I'm learning a lot about hats, ball caps, baseball caps. So if I was to go into a place like that, which I'm going to tomorrow, if I find a little shop or something that has some of them, I'll give a gander now where I never would have 2-3 months ago. And I wouldn't even have thought of it. Wouldn't have occurred to me. But now I'm kind of into that. I see that, huge profit you can get on them. They're super easy to ship. I bought boxes with my quarterly coupon, specifically designed to accommodate these hats. I bought little plastic bags for them because I figured, hey, why not? That's something I could get into. But again, I don't need 50,000 hats. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where if I'm walking around in the antique mall or at an estate sale, even something I never looked for, now I'm going to be looking for them. On the off chance that we go to a yard sale, which are very infrequent in my area, we just don't have them. I know it's a way of life in the South. When I lived in Florida, people used to have yard sales every weekend. It just doesn't happen around me at all, like at all. Garage sale, yard sale, whatever you want to call them, nothing. Dead end for me. But if I did happen upon one, if in my travels with the band, we're going to have a lot of downtime between traveling. If I'm spending a day in, Chicago in a couple of weeks, maybe I could walk around and find a place or look for a place, before we hit the stage. So things like that. I'm going to be looking now for hats, but small quantities, a little bushel of 20 or something would be fine with me. I'm not looking for huge volume anymore of anything specifically until I run out of postcards one day and until I run out of print ads. I'm not going to say, okay, I did all my print ads and I'm never going to buy a magazine. Oh, no. If anything, I'm going to be more aggressive when I buy them because I know the insane profit that's out there for them. But I'm in a nice position where I don't really need to buy anything at all. Yeah, I've heard of that app, but I haven't used it. Is it just to look up values like with barcodes or something? I've heard of it. You found some old airplane manuals. Oh man, I would love that. Manuals, like about the plane itself, like how it was built and stuff? What do you mean, like just paperwork from an airplane? Either one, I'm sure, is cool. I love airplane. I love flying. I'm one of those freaks that love flying. I'm not afraid of it. I love it. Mrs. Flippett, not a fan of flying. She knows it's a necessity to get where we want to go, but I love it. I totally love flying. You think you mentioned the free 1940s Life's magazine? Yes, you did. I also picked up about 2 Bankers boxes worth of sheet music is another thing I have some. Hymnals and choir books. One of the choir books goes for 20. You have 19. Beautiful. Congratulations. All free. That's what I'm saying. You know, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes things just come to you. Something I think we've mentioned before, but never be shy to admit that you're a reseller or that's what you do, especially when you go to these yard sales or whatever. You could be honest with some of them and just say, or you could do posts on Craigslist or on I don't know who uses Craigslist anymore, but if you do, on Facebook even, you've seen people put pieces of paper on telephone poles. You always, I buy houses, call me, you know, the kind of thing. Like get your name out there as a buyer of X, and you'd be surprised. People would be willing, especially something as like, you know, benign as a magazine. If you say, you know, I like magazines, give me your old magazines that you don't want. They probably bring me by the truckload for free. So once you get known in a place or something as being the magazine guy or gal or the stamp guy or the postcard guy or whatever, you'd be surprised. People will sometimes just give you stuff. And the free merchandise is the best kind. Your sermon for next year is to go back to basics and not worry about the algorithm. List, sell, ship. I love that. It's true. Don't stress out on all that stuff. There's a lot to be said for that. I like sheet music too. Yeah, I love the idea of, I really want to hear more about the manuals, like manuals on how, like a Boeing manual about the 747. I'd be intrigued by that. You just sold a lot of books on Pengo Books that I booked for $2 and sold, that you bought for $2 and sold for 61. Congratulations, Karen. That's how it's done right there. Way to go. You found a lot of reselling vids just exhausting. Yeah. Honestly, Mrs. Flippett causing a ruckus upstairs. Hold on. Can you guys hear Sherlock barking? I don't know if she's just playing with him or somebody came into the house. I think he's playing with a ball. All right. Just want to make sure there wasn't an intruder in the house. Yeah, some of the reselling stuff, that's so true. Not for nothing. You can definitely like overdose on this stuff, you know, and overthink to a ridiculous point. I don't take everything. I take everything with a grain of salt. That's what I was going to say. I don't take everything as gospel. Take a lot of the stuff. You can learn a lot from watching these videos of different people. I respect a lot of resellers. I respect their knowledge of products and things. And it's entertainment on YouTube half the time. I just like watching some of this stuff because it's what I like. But I don't take everything as gospel. No way. And what works for one person might not work for another. We're all different. We all have different business models and different businesses. So do what you do. And I agree with Mark. I think it's so easy to get lost in these numbers and trying to figure out, quote unquote, eBay and figure out the algorithms. It's all. I love that. Yeah. List, sell, ship. That's on a t-shirt. List, sell, ship. Hydrant has some airplane manuals and other airplane stuff somewhere too. It comes from a billionaire with a private Gulfstream. Holy cow. That's awesome. I'd love to see some of that stuff. Man, I'm going to have to look it up. Mark likes Chrome. Mark likes anything. Chrome postcard 1. Chrome postcard 2. Yep. Yeah, that is true. They're much easier to. And again, they'll be old in a few years. They'll be the older ones, you know, as the real old ones probably turn to dust at some point. Dawn, it's time for food. All right, you go enjoy. Chop. I do. Say hello to my little magazine. There you go. Way to go, Dawn. Congratulations. You notice you don't hear any cha-chings. No artificial cha-chings either, by the way, on this channel. Trust me. Or I'd have it playing every 5 minutes. Make sure my thing is on. Yes, it is. Okay. I would love the thrill. I think you guys saw my face a couple of weeks ago. I was doing a live show and I got a cha-ching darn. I was like, oh. It's still a rush, right? No matter how many things you sell, it's still the greatest sound in the world as far as I'm concerned. Or up there, one of the best sounds. Keep eyes open for private collections that come available from estates. Big money in some of those cards. Very cool. Good advice. Barry was once the largest reseller of Looney Tune mud flaps. Get out. What a cool. Where'd you come across those things? What a unique niche to be in. I've seen them. I've seen them on trucks and stuff. That's very cool, Barry. Where the heck did you have to give away your secrets? But I'm just curious. What even made you buy your first one? You sent free sleeve also. Story reviews will make you go cross-eyed. That's true. Then they correct it. That's right. Makes you uncross-eyed. It's fun to find new things to say. I agree. The most mind-blowing thing was Printez. Really? I'm glad. Well, if it was from me, thank you very much. But yeah, I've known about that for a while. But it's always exciting. I like sharing things like that. I think it's fun. I like opening people's eyes. Just like my eyes have been open to so many things, especially with the postcard thing in the recent year or two that I've been doing postcards. But yeah, it is amazing the thing. Like, I mean, Barry steals the show as far as I'm concerned. Look at this. Let's read that again. Largest reseller of Looney Tune mud flaps. Such a cool and unique niche. I bet you didn't have to do any promoted listings on those things, right? Vintage Kaja had a truck with Yosemite Sam mud flaps. Very cool. Get the shotgun. Uh-oh. Hey, what's going on, Swamp Picker? Welcome to the show. Good to have you. If someone asks you if you resell, usually you do it a little to earn extra money on top of your Social Security. Nobody gets mad. Nobody gets mad about that. There you go. Play the sympathy card, right? Good call. I like that. Sandy's manuals are mostly small planes, Cessnas, Pipers, etc. 60s and 70s, and NASA pilots estates. Oh, wow. So cool. I would love to just check that stuff out just to see it. There he is. What's up? Jackie Jack is here. Hello. Good to have you, man. Welcome to the show. We're just chewing the fat tonight again. It happens. It's a Friday. I'm tired. I'm sure you guys are all tired. We got a roaring fire. We got snow. We got cozy lights. Come on. Sold a postcard looking up the Hudson River, Corinth, New York. Corinth, New York. I'm not sure where that is, Mark. But that's very good. Congratulations. Sold a postcard. Charles has jumped head over heels into print ads. Really? He bought 60, 1930, and 40s last week in an auction. Very cool ads. You prefer print ads, postcards. Okay, very good. Yeah, to each their own. They're all, to me, everything has its own charm, if you will. Because postcards are newer to me, I'm still, like I said, in that honeymoon phase with them. I think I get a kick out of them. I really do. The print ads are, not that they're old hat or anything, but I'm used to them. Let's just say that. And you do see a lot of repetition, like you do with postcards too. You see a lot of repetition with the ads, but I love me some 40s ads, as we all know. I really do. I just love them. And maybe one day when I get to if I ever get up to the 60s, which we touched on last week, right? The 66. Excuse me. I do have some from the 60s. I have a sparse amount from the very early. I think it stopped in 72, Life magazine, if I'm not mistaken. You know, the weekly versions anyway. When I get into that stuff, maybe I'll be turned on to some of that stuff. And it just seems, even believe it or not, even the 50 stuff, when you're so used to living in the world of like the teens and the 10s and even the early 20s, when you see an ad from like 1959, it really looks modern. Like it does. It just doesn't look that different, even though that's 60 years ago already. But yeah, I don't know. And for some reason, some of the luster wears off for me. I'm not as into, ooh, look, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. Like I joked about a toaster from 1959. It just doesn't have the same appeal. The advertising trends as we got more modern, they just got more boring to me, like less inventive. The artwork certainly suffered a lot of, obviously at that point, it's like mostly just photographs. You don't see nearly as many hand-drawn ads or anything like that. A lot of the beautiful artworks that's in some of that French stuff, like the French Art Nouveau period stuff, is just beautiful. And you could tell they put so much effort into those ads. And no matter how mundane the product was, they really went over the top. A soap ad, it was like a piece of art. And I think it loses that. Even the World War II stuff, very, very artful, with tragic undertones, obviously, because of a war going on. But the artwork and the effort that they put forth, these companies, amazes me. And I just think by the time you get to the 50s and everybody's fat and happy, and it just gets lazier, if you will, to me. The Todd has arrived. That really is cool, Sandy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Oh, I saw. That's all right. I'll take full blame for that. I was addicted by my postcard addiction is courtesy of primarily Popeye. Mark definitely lended a hand. A few people. So I understand that. I blame them too. They were given to me by a guy who tried to sell them on Craigslist, and they told me to get him out of his garage. See, there you go. And did it ever become like passionate for you? Like, were you really into it, or was it just a ton of stuff you got and you wanted to sell? Like, did you find yourself getting really interested in them? Something very similar to what Barry's just said with me was Star Trek stuff. I might have told this story too, but just in case you newer people might not have heard it, this is about, I think it was in 16 or 17. I was still doing clothes as my main thing at that point. Clothes selling, reselling, mostly just stuff like our old clothing, like a lot of people do. Well, anyway, I think it was a Facebook marketplace ad. Mrs. Flippett found it. I used to love the Star Trek show. I don't know anything about the newer Star Treks. I just know the show Star Trek from the 60s. I used to love that growing up. I know a lot of people did. Well, anyway, Mrs. Flippett knew I liked Star Trek. We probably might have even been watching an episode the night before. And she goes, "Hey, honey, there's somebody is looking to like get rid of a big collection of Star Trek stuff." And I'm like, "Star Trek stuff? What does it look like?" So anyway, long story short, I went to the guy's house, and he literally kind of like what Barry just said. The guy, I forgot if it was his mother-in-law or his grandmother, somebody gave him tons and tons and tons and tons of Star Trek stuff. And when I say stuff, the dreaded Hamilton collector plates. That's the kind of mundane stuff. Magazines, convention paraphernalia. The really good stuff that I wound up selling for a lot of money were the pewter, like the ships, like the Star Trek Enterprise, big, like maybe like a foot long thing on like a pedestal, a pewter design of the ships, the Vulcan ship, tons of them, dolls, Star Trek dolls, action figures, as we call them now, things like that. So anyway, I can't remember exactly what we paid, but it was ridiculous. He literally said, "I just want it out of my garage," because all this stuff was in boxes in his garage, and it was like an all or nothing thing. I took everything. It was probably like $200, $250, I think. I literally made that back with the sale of one of those pewter ships almost instantly. I still have some stuff, but I mean, when I tell you folks, there was like 1,000 pieces in there easily across the board. It wasn't 1,000 pewter ships, or I'd be out in the Bahamas right now, retired. But a lot of, a fair amount of those, tons of Star Trek. I still have some of these cards, like trade cards, sealed Star Trek New Generation. So that was like my first big haul, if you will. And I still have some pieces, but the real meat was sold long ago. And that was definitely inspiring. The whole concept of going out and getting huge volume of anything was kind of born there for me. I started listening to Christmas folklore last night. Yeah, the traffic's great. And just out of curiosity, Todd, are you promoting those new listings? I started this new thing about 10 days ago, I'd say, because it was before the last show. Midweek last week, I started pounding away too. And I just decided, I think it was a mistake at first. I forgot to tick promoted, and I had like 1 or 2 views without the promotion, which is a big deal. And I'm like, oh, you know what, man? I'm just going to leave. I'm going to ride that whole new listing high that we all shoot for when we do end and sell similar. I'm like, well, these are new listings, on the order of 50 to 100 every single day. Let me just let them ride. So that's what I've been doing. And then I'm probably on the verge of going to start promoting the ones that are like 10 days old at this point. But I wanted to just try to ride it out and see if I can get a few sales. And I have. I've gotten some interest in some sales on brand new things that just was put out. And it was just postcards. It wasn't anything super exciting. Christmas postcards. Save a couple of bucks. I mean, it's not a lot. If the card sells for $8 and you're promoting at 10%, is it really going to break the bank? No. But it's always cool to me. I love when I sell something that wasn't promoted. Although that's a truism, Mark, I do love cheese curds. My God, I love that thing on the poutine. Love cheese curd. All I need is cheese curd. I don't need the fries. Cheese curds and gravy is good enough for me. Absolutely delicious. You were never a Trekkie into Star Wars. You got totes of figures. And I wasn't really into Star. I mean, I liked the movie, but I never got into Star Wars. I just liked the TV show. I wasn't a Trekkie. I loved the show. It was on all the time growing up, constantly, every night. Used to have in New York, the Channel 11 was like a local station, and they used to have every night at Johnny Carson would end at 11, I guess. The Odd Couple was on from 11 to 11:30. 11:30 was the Honeymooners, and midnight was Star Trek. Every night for like my whole teenage existence. Then I'd put on Late Night with David Letterman when that came on. I loved Late Night with David Letterman when he was on NBC. I went to a couple of shows and live shows there at the late night with David Letterman show. But anyway, so I watched Star Trek constantly, and I watched it long before that too. Growing up, a little kid too. When I was like, I guess this is like 75 or 76 for Christmas. Remember they had Star Trek action figures like dolls. I had a communicator, which was really cool. I had an Enterprise Whirlybird. You guys remember the Whirlybird things? They had helicopters, and mine was a Star Trek Enterprise. It was just like a ship on the end of a stick that was with a base, electric base, and you had a remote control, and it would just spin in circles. So I had that. I always liked Star Trek stuff. Action figures. I know you can't say dolls. $6 Million Man action figure. Anybody had that? That was one of my best Christmas gifts of all time. The $6 Million Man action figure. I had Bigfoot, was his like nemesis, but he came with like the ship. It looked like a rocket, and then you opened it up and it became a surgery table where he got his bionic stuff put in, and you could roll up his skin on his arm and you would see like a little module thing, and you could look in the back of his eye and it was his bionic eye. Greatest gift I've ever had. I was so excited by that. What's up, man? It is my fault. When in doubt, it's my fault. Welcome to the show. Good question, Mark. I don't remember, but there were multiple pewter ships, and they were really valuable. They were different sizes too. The smallest one were probably like maybe 3 or 4 inches, up to about a foot, I'd say. And they were all in these really nice like pedestal things with like a base and like a gold plate that would say, the Vulcan ship, whatever. Those sold really well. Very delicate though. You had to be careful with them. Promotes everything at 6%. Okay, cool. Yeah, curds. I love cheese too. Oh wow. Promoter's been off for over a month and you're having your best sales ever. There you go. Good for you, man. That's great. Benny Hill. Yeah, we had, like I said, we had The Odd Couple. I think it was The Odd Couple, Honeymooners, Star Trek was the trifecta. Late at night, like 11, 11:30, and 12. And then after Star Trek, I would watch a Late Night with David Letterman. Yes. Absolutely, man. Because they're unique. Generally speaking, across all things, uniqueness, scarcity equals value. No, I really wasn't. Honest to God, I wasn't a Star Trek geek. I mean, there's people that used to go to the conventions and stuff. I had no interest in that. I like the show. I used to really enjoy the show. And I love the toys I got when I was 10. But Star Wars, I never got, like, I didn't have, I'm trying to think, did I ever have any Star Wars toys? I don't remember. I don't think so. I remember seeing the movie with my dad when it came out, and at the Ray Twin Theater in Staten Island. And it was the same year that Saturday Night Fever came out. I saw that. That was like a racy movie when you were a kid. I was like, wow. And then the next year was Grease and Close Encounters. Then the next year was Superman. I remember that. Those are like the mega movies then. Cheese, shoes, and snow curs. What? Buys, eBay, save searches. All your friends will post. There you go. Yeah. Right. Where they're looking for your stuff as soon as it's comes out, they snatch it, right? Yeah, absolutely. Totally. Many a night I fell asleep, and then you hear the boop, scare the life out of you at like 2 a.m. Didn't have a remote. I had a black and white TV in my room growing up, and I was happy, damn it. But I really did. I had a black and white TV until I was like a teenager. Never even dawned on me. I'll never forget. And again, I'm sorry if I keep telling the same stories, but certain things just come up when we have a conversation. If anybody remembers, in 1977, there was a huge blackout in the Northeast. I grew up in New York, obviously. All of New York was blacked out, but I think it went fairly far on the East Coast. It was a huge event, right? It was the same summer as the Son of Sam murder was going on. Scared the life out of me because he was in Brooklyn, which is right over the bridge from us. And there was a news announcement. I'll never forget this, the same night of the blackout, that he came across in a Volkswagen Beetle across the Verrazano Bridge and was seen in Staten Island. I was so afraid. And then that night, I was watching Beretta, Sandy. Remember Beretta? Keep your eye on the sparrow. I was watching Beretta on my little black and white TV. It was about 100 degrees out. It was really, really hot. And the TV in the middle of the show went, boo. You guys remember how the TVs used to go down to a dot when you turn them off and you make like a static sound? And I went, Ma! And I ran outside and all the lights went off and the air conditioning went out. And it was 1,000 degrees and everybody was hanging out on their stoops, like, the front stairs with the transistor radios, listening to the news reports about everything was blacked out and the whole city was blacked out and the trains had stopped and there was looting going on. It was surreal. But that's my memory. The black and white TV, for some reason, I'll never forget that. Watching Beretta and the screen went, doo. And I screamed like a schoolgirl. Ma! Ted Cassidy. Yes, he did. Absolutely. Yep. They had a Bigfoot action figure. The Ted Cassidy guy, I don't think did they have a doll for him? They had like a robot guy. And then, of course, my sister, they came out with the Bionic Woman doll, too. She got that. Ted Cassidy did play Lord. She was also in Star Trek. For you non-Star Trek geeks. He was like an evil, he's always a big, monster, obviously. You had the $1 million man, $6 million man, Maria, $6 million man. He was Bobby's dad, yeah. Oh, okay, when you played, gotcha. Yeah, you know what? Another one I bet you Mark would like this and remember this. Planet of the Apes. I had the Planet of the Apes playset, which was awesome. So I had all the guys as apes, of course, and it was like this playset where they were like underground or something, and they had like a nuclear bomb. It's probably from the movie, I forgot, but oh my God, I love that. And like so many kids of the age, I used to have my Star Trek guys fighting my Planet of the Ape guys, and then Spider-Man would come in, and then I had Batman and Robin dolls, action figures. But the Planet of the Apes were another mainstay of my youth. Planet of the Apes playset, another glorious Christmas gift. Oh, I know, man. If I had this stuff, like so many of us could say that, right? If we had girls with the Barbie dolls back then, my God, if you kept that stuff. My sister's a couple years younger than me, and when Charlie's Angels came out, do you ladies or girls remember? They used to have these. It was just from like the shoulders up, a head of like a famous person with a wig, and the girls could like put makeup on them and they could do their hair. Well, anyway, she had the Farrah Fawcett thing. She had a Cher thing. I'm trying to think who else, and somebody else. And that too, I've seen those things sell for crazy money. If you have any of those toys from like the mid 70s or so, man, oh man, Shevitz, let me tell you. I forgot what they were called. It was just like a bust basically of like the one I remember most was the Cher doll, the Cher one, and the Farrah Fawcett. But she used to spend hours and hours making her up and all this stuff. Don't forget Warriors. I forgot Warriors. What is Warriors, Enzo? You bought a 25-year-old Star Wars collection from a guy, filled up 3 storage units, $1,300, 1,000 pieces. Wow. Yeah, but you swore off all the toys and everything, right? They're all gone now from your store? A few years ago. All right. So hopefully you sold them all. Ted Bundy. No. Berkowitz. Yeah. He had a bunch of nicknames. The 44 caliber killer. Yeah, Berkowitz. And it's so funny because they put out the artist sketch before he was caught, obviously, right? And of course, when they found the guy, he looked nothing like the artist guy. It was like this chubby. It was just a weird situation. But God, that guy scared the life out of me. Son of Sam, 44 caliber killer. That was just too mean. Planet of the Apes was the best, right, man? I used to have, like I said, I don't know how many dolls I had. I had like the old professor guy. I had the what's his name? What's the actor? Rodney. What's his last name, Mark? Had his character. Had one of the guys that came from Earth, the humans. Rodney McDowell. Evel Knievel motorcycle that you wound up. You put him on a little red platform. You round it up, and he did jumps. Absolutely, had that. Evel Knievel jump set. Yep, I had that. No, I have not. Yep, I absolutely had that too. It's awesome. The Warriors movie. I'm not familiar with that. Hey, Kristen, how you doing? Welcome, world. The ultimate. That's why we just say Kristen. Rural Squirrel. How you doing, Kristen? Where are you? Where are you in this time of year? Hope you're doing well. Great to have you aboard. I saw a tease. Was it a video or was it a picture of you in an airport? It said, "Guess where I'm going" or something. So I'm curious where you are. Hope you're doing well. As we bang out bottle of water number 3. It's a lot of talking on these shows, Good old Christmas memories of toys past. Again, that's true. All of which would be worth a friggin' fortune at this point. Warriors come out and play. Warriors. I'm not familiar with that. It's a movie. It's called Warriors. Did they have action figures from Warriors? Warriors movie. New York gangs want to come out and play. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Remember Lords of Flatbush? You guys remember that? It's one of the first movies I ever saw in the movies. And Godfather. My parents took me to see The Godfather. I was young, very impressionable. I remember seeing the Lords of Flatbush in the movies too, with the Fonz and Stallone. Cold lima beans just don't have the same effect as hot ones. But when you're hungry, you're hungry. You're at the beach. What beach would that be? Nunbush city limits. Isn't it Nutbush? Nutbush city limit. Hey, Papa, how you doing? Yeah, it's a lot of fun, right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Good to have you on the show. Yeah, the reminiscing is part and parcel of what we do basically every show, especially when we do chat shows. When we're doing listing, we usually list. Now, of course, based on the listing, if it's print ads, that could evoke some memories and stuff. But yeah, this is just kind of a chewing the fat episode. So Christmas time came up, certain toys came up, and the memories come flooding back. Kristen, U Beach. Yeah, Nutbush. The Warriors was promoted as a movie that was banned in New York. Probably why I didn't see it. Yeah, maybe that's true. I'll have to look it up. Never seen it. You even heard of it. Yes, everybody. Dawn, last we heard from Dawn, she was eating, Kristen. So apologies if she's late to respond, but I'm sure she will. She had set off for some food, some grub. Yeah, great to have you. The squirrel is here. Kick him back on the beach. Literally on the beach as we speak. Are you watching from a beach, like in a sun chair? If you are, God bless you. That's pretty cool. Nutbush City Limit. That's a good tune. That's Ike and Tina, I think. It's been quiet today. First quiet day in a long time. Not liking it. Not liking it. That's all. I have 10 offers I could send out. Maybe that'll spur some activity. Nutbush City Limit. See, like I have, we're just talking about the Christmas postcard frenzy. I've been listing a tons of like 50 to 100 Christmas postcards every day for the last week and a half or so. And there's a bunch of them now, like 6 or 7 available to send offers to, and none of which have been promoted yet. This is pretty cool. But again, I'm going to, once it gets to like 10 days, I'm going to go back to, what was 10 days? The 4th or the 5th, I think. I'll probably go in and then do a promotion. Maybe that'll give it a kick too. So I'm looking for like a double kick. Ideally, you want them, that new listing, fresh listing thing that you get the little jolt of activity. Ideally, you want to sell it within that window while it's still a jolt. But after 10 days or so, I'll probably go in and just do my regular promotion. It was just something I did try from an accident originally. I've also been going in, and this is a good thing to do, I think, for everybody. I've been going in and like tweaking titles here and there with things. Like maybe over time you learn different techniques or you learn what works. So I've been going in and like tweaking things, moving, repositioning wording that I had, like, let's say more farther back in the listing and the title, pushing it up front, a little more impactful. That stuff supposedly does wonders for your listing. It gives you that kind of new listing freshness a little bit, at least to an extent. And speaking of which, one of the things that's in my send offer, I could see I need to revise a little bit because it's not following my current flow. So we're going to revise this really quickly, even though it's already in somebody's watch. But I don't want to sell. I want to try to sell this full price. Like I don't want to have to do an offer on this one. So let's just tweak this a little bit really quickly. And you guys can just talk amongst yourself and watch me tweak. Still want to know what Kristen is. She's on the beach, in quotes. There's lots of beaches. I am really digging the baseball hats, man. Let me just tell you. Digging them. What a cool, brand new little niche for me to get involved in at a very small level, but that's how they all start, right? Usually they start small. Okay. Release this one again. This new revised title. Thank you, Charles, very much. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in. Let's finish that one. Mark is off again. I see somebody saying, see you, Mark. So let me scroll back up. Sorry. Kristen's at the beach. We identified that. Season's greetings, awesome background. Love the reminiscing. Thank you. We talked to Papa already, right? Warriors movie. Oh, not like right now. You are earlier. Okay, very good. Nunbush is a shoe. Okay. And again, thank you very much, Charles. Appreciate it. Hope to see you on the next one. Cameron sells hats. Does he really? Karen's got to go. Packing up to New York City tomorrow. Family party Sunday. Thank you very much. Safe travels, Karen. See you on the next one. We'll probably wrap it up shortly. Nice solid hour and a half or so, right? Almost an hour and a half. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, let me know. It's a very, very open forum tonight. Got a roaring fire going. Snow's coming down. Lima beans needed to be heated up, so we'll heat these up at the end of the show. That's cool to know. Cameron, you still watching? You're a big fan of the Caps? I definitely like them a lot. I like them a lot. Do you see that correctly? You're going to be on one. Yeah, I was. I was today, Todd. I did a 2:00 show that lasted like 40 minutes or so. Didn't go. I was doing records. I was trying to get rid of some vinyl that I've had for a while. But I had a couple of really good records in there, and no takers on a couple. I sold like 4 of them out of 12 or something. So I wound up just the band. The thing about Whatnot, I haven't been on. This is shocking to me. I couldn't believe it when I went to set up my show. My last show was last November. I didn't realize I was gone that long. So it was over a year. And I'm sure, obviously, with Dawn talked about this earlier. She's totally right. With Whatnot, it's about consistency, which I've been anything but. And followers. I mean, I have a decent amount of followers when I was doing them, but they were mostly ephemera stuff. So I was in a kind of a new arena doing the vinyl. I actually had a couple of vinyl shows very early on when I started. But I'll probably do some more ephemera on Whatnot. I love the platform. It hasn't really changed at all. I was worried about that. It's funny. It's like riding a horse, as they joke about, right? I queued up the system and all. I'm like, oh man, do I remember how to do this? I have like 3 cameras on and all this stuff. And it was pretty easy. And I know the shipping method, the types of shipping available have definitely been enhanced since last I was on. So that was good. So like the records are all media mail now, which is nice. I got a kick out of it. It's just, it was very quiet. I don't know if it was the time of day. It was 2. I did it at 2 p.m, but I only had like maybe 12 people in my room, 10 to 12 people or something, which I'm grateful for. But we'll see. Yeah. So I did a quick Whatnot today. Sold a couple of albums that I've had sitting in a milk crate for about 25 years. Oh, that's all right, man. I'll be back. Sell caps but want to transition. Get out of here. You sell caps and want to transition? All right, I'll trade you. Well, hopefully, I mean, despite this show, which is really just hanging out talking, but if, Barry, if you see, look at some of the old videos I have, and I have an entire series about print ads if you want to get into that, if you want to learn about them. I have a whole series about that. I have tons of what's sold videos where I kind of talk about the different things that have sold, including postcards and lots of different types of ephemera. So check those out if you're interested. Yes, I've been consistently absent, purposely, from the Whatnots, but I do enjoy it. It just hit me last night. I was sitting It's funny. I was getting ready to list some records actually, and I'm like, you know what? I should just get a crate together and go on Whatnot and see what happens. So I'm grateful for the ones that sold, of course, as always. Oh wow, my friend just sent me a picture of Gene Simmons from the last show at the Garden a couple weeks ago. It's a really cool picture. Holy cow! They sounded so. Not they. Paul Stanley sounded horrible, embarrassingly bad, but the picture's outrageously cool. My buddy Frank and I, we saw Kiss in '96 when they reformed at the Garden. It was such a great show. It was the exact same concert as the '77 concert, which I was not allowed to go to, Ma. And I was always upset about it. Zeppelin, I told the story too, but Zeppelin and Kiss both came to Madison Square Garden in the summer of '77, and I desperately wanted to see both of them and was denied on both fronts. Of course, I never got to see Zeppelin because that was their last American tour because Bonham goes and dies. When in '81, they were supposed to come back, but alas, that did not happen. But I got to see Kiss in '96, which, a little later. But if you think about it, they were still only like in their early mid 40s, which now seems so young. Then we thought, oh, wow, they're getting old. It's funny. But they sounded fantastic then. It was like the Love Gun tour redone in '96. It was outrageously cool. And they were on MTV and everything, if you guys remember. They did a show under the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, yeah. Dawn trying to make an impact. Yes, watched the videos last year. You're proud owner of a call paper cutter. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. You got to admit, those things are very cool, aren't they? Is that a microphone? I'm familiar with a microphone. I agree, Dawn. Fabulous. Well put. Fabulous. Did you greet Dawn? Royal Squirrel said hello to you, and I told her you were preoccupied with some food. So make sure you say hi back to the beach. She's on a beach or was on a beach not too long ago. Kristen Royal Squirrel. But I agree, the call paper trimmer is a game-changing device in many ways. The ultimate hack on that thing for Barry and for I've told Todd. I might have told Todd too, but I told Dawn about this. Easiest way in the world to sharpen that blade is you just get a piece of tin foil and you run the tin foil through like you're going to be cutting a piece of paper, the same exact process. Go over it 2-3 times, move it about another inch, go over 2-3 times, throw out the tin foil, and you have a razor sharp blade again. I have still not changed my blade. I've had this thing for 3 years. Thousands of sheets of paper have crossed that thing, and I have never had to sharpen the blade because that's all I do is use the little piece of tin foil. Yes, please, thumbs up if you have a second. Like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Hopefully you get, like Dawn, you get a shing tonight if you do that. Oh, you said Roscoe. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you did. Lori, correct. Look at Lori's little, I know I stink at this word, icon thing. I love that. A singing squirrel. A singing mermaid. You call your sister Sandy Squirrel from SpongeBob. That's funny. Does she talk like her? How y'all doing? All right, folks. Anything else? Anybody else have any questions, concerns, thoughts? Any more toys you want to bring up? TV shows? Gonna wrap it up very shortly. Heat up my lima beans and sail off into the sunset. Yeah, Lori snuck in. She's on babysitting duty tonight, so I appreciate you taking any time to say hi. It's great to see you. And then on, let's see, what's today's? Today's the 15th, right? Yeah, 15th, 16th, 17th. So Monday is the 18th. Monday we tentatively have, if I can get a ticket for it, there's this place called Longwood Gardens by me. This is, talk about an off-the-cuff comment. This place called Longwood Gardens out here by us in a beautiful town. And it's basically this gigantic, the DuPont family, the legendary DuPont's chemical company. One of the DuPonts built this beautiful house on this land and was a garden enthusiast, to say the least. He went trips to Europe and everything, and he wanted to bring some of those different flora and things of that nature to his little town in Pennsylvania and Delaware. They're big in Delaware. But anyway, long story short, it's almost like the Disneyland of gardens. It's beautiful. They have a light show, Christmas light show, and it's huge. This thing is like acres and acres. Huge thing. You have to be a member of it. Well, anyway, we might go Monday night with two of my daughters. If I can get a ticket. My wife and I are members of Longwood Gardens. You have to be a member. But I'm still having trouble getting a reservation. You have to get a reservation. But if we cannot, for some reason, go in on Monday night, then I will come back on Monday for a show, I promise you, and we'll do a listing show on Monday, because tonight was just kind of relaxing and chatting. So we'll do a listing show on Monday, and maybe we'll do the 60s magazine that I had ready started for you guys last week, and we wound up just chatting last week. So I really want to thank everybody for coming in. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Hope you sell a lot of stuff. Hope you get a lot of listings up, but also take care of yourself and relax and enjoy your life. And I will see everybody back here hopefully on Monday. If I don't make it on Monday, it's because we're at the thing, and maybe I'll do it Tuesday night. All right. I'm not going to wait all week. I'm going to do something earlier in the week, and then we'll go back on Friday. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.